Let me see what she's saying.
It says you are live. Okay.
Okay. We alive. I'll check on X, see if I can see us, just to be sure. Okay. Where's my profile? I would think it would show up on my profile. Well, at least we're recording, so
Either way.
welcome back to another episode of Two Moms
Two moms chatting.
yeah. Oh, it's not going to let me look at it. I have too many tabs open.
It looks different this time than the last time we did it.
I don't know why. Oh, you know what? I have it set up like instead of us, we're like on top, like I'm up here and you're down here. I could put us side by side.
No, that's fine. No, this
okay.
works.
It's like I don't want to touch anything.
Yeah, don't touch any buttons. We'll be out again.
I know. Let's just leave it. Yeah, John and I are I should say I'm the podcaster. I've experience in this and I should be better at it than I am, but I'm doing the best I can. So welcome back, everybody. We here for another episode, and I think as we go along, we'll make them. We're not going to make it formal, but we'll get better at it.
Yes, hopefully.
Like, oh, I have low disk space. Okay, I got to shut some stuff down. Just let me shut down my YouTube. So I can't see anybody. The Rumble feed got screwed up. So we're on X and possibly on YouTube. Anyways, so what's going on? What's happening?
It says Facebook by default is friends only. So that means only if you're friends with people, they can see it.
I've got like 2 friends. So
I know. I'm like, because I don't.
You have a ton.
No, I don't. I don't friend request anyone on Facebook.
Friends.
No, I just put my posts the ones that I want to share, I put them public because it's insane to accept friend requests on Facebook. You don't know who any of the people are.
That's true.
That's where I got catfish so bad because I was accepting. I thought, I was just accepting friend requests. I'm like, oh, here's this person sharing the biodigital too.
Right. Not so much. Yeah, you wanted to talk about that. About the what did I write down? Oh, about your experience on Facebook trying to share Sabrina.
Right. It's really all focused around Sabrina. Something about sharing Sabrina. It's like a no-no.
That's really weird.
Yeah, because I've been in, I shared a bunch of like really stupid stuff before and nobody ever got on to me about it. I was into that Nibiru stuff and I was sharing really dumb stuff and nobody didn't make sense. Nobody ever got on to me. And then when I found Sabrina and started, that's when they all came out of the woodwork.
Really? And so what kinds of things would happen? Like, so you'd share one of her posts and then tell me about it.
Well, people would come and they pretend like they like Sabrina, first they're like, oh, this lady's awesome. And they would even sometimes share her stuff.
Yeah.
And then they'd be chatting one-on-one, and I'd think that they were my friend. And then next thing you know, they're like making little remarks here and there about Sabrina that's weird. And I'm like, wait, where'd that come from? And then comes the big post. They'll make a whole post on their page about Sabrina, how she's crazy or, they've just been waiting and they knew that she was sent here by the government. And I even had someone that I was friends with for like several years on there. But that's the thing. She was another one of those accounts, never showed their actual face, never showed their actual name, but she was in all of like the conspiracy type of groups and all that. And she got to be friends with me. At first, I didn't know if it was male or female because her account didn't really say, kind of was leaning towards that account might have been a man. And then she ditched that account and got a whole other account she was using. So, because many of these people have multiple accounts that they use,
I guess.
And then we were like chatting friends and she's like, Sabrina's great and sharing all kinds of information. And then one day she flips the script on me and makes a whole post on her page about Sabrina, how Sabrina's doing all these bad things and brainwashing people, and I'm helping, and my husband actually works for, my husband makes everybody's digital twins. And
Oh
I mean,
my
like,
goodness.
these people get really freaking weird.
So pretty personal and
Yeah, it
detailed.
does. Yeah. And it's like, they must know, not like they must have known when Sabrina was coming out and getting popular, they sent people to
Yeah.
discredit her big time, because there's other truther accounts, and a lot of my friends like these truther accounts, but I've caught those people talking mad crap about Sabrina, like going into comment sections saying that she's mentally unwell. Like they go hard behind the scenes, because then now they've learned they can't really say it openly on their page, because a lot of people will come in and, argue.
She's got a lot of supporters that will,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Now she has a lot of supporters, because for all these years we've been fighting, fighting, fighting. So now, now we've made, it's she's legit, and now
Yeah.
they have to be sneakier about it. So they'll go in the comment sections and or private message people to say, I know this about Sabrina or whatever. It's just freaking
Ugh,
weird.
ugh,
It's weird.
what a waste of energy that people,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
How hard for you though?
I definitely know a lot of them are out there to discredit her. Like that's part of whatever they were told to do. They infiltrate all of us, pretend like they're our friends. They like the same things we like, but that they come in and they plant little weird seeds and say things and discredit and discombobulate us when we're all trying to,
Right. They make us doubt ourselves kind of in the stuff that
yes,
we know. I found that
yes.
I have my TikTok account is, it's not super huge, but it's gotten bigger since I started sharing clips from Sabrina. And in the comments, not anything like you, but just getting a little taste of people wanting to argue or laughing. That's ridiculous. There's no proof, or, just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I'm always like, well, this is just a clip. So, go watch the whole thing and come back again. But yeah, no, I haven't had any major problems, but I know you have. And gosh,
Even that Rhea No More Silence account, like she had a big following, and
yeah,
she came and found me, and she was like, "Oh, I like Sabrina. Sabrina's correct." And I'm like, "Oh, cool," And then next thing I know, she's making little snide remarks. She would come in my comment section and even discredit me. She's like, "I don't see you being very love and light." And say, I'm like, "What the hell? Like, where'd that come from?" And then next thing you know, she would say something, and then they block me. They say something nasty to me and block me. I'm like, I don't even, I'm a nobody. I'm literally just a mom on Facebook. Like, what the hell?
it's like you're drawing all their unresolved issues with the truth.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so many of them are sent out there, I know,
Yeah,
to discredit Sabrina, because she is like, she puts all the pieces together from all the communities. Like if you were in the Nibiru groups, she's giving you little bits that if you were in the spiritual groups or whatever
yep,
with,
I was in there.
yeah, you were in that. So you see, she can
Yep,
discredit all the stuff that they're doing over there that's keeping us, you know.
right. So she's a threat to just about
Yes.
anybody out there making money on
Yes. Yes.
aspects. Yeah.
Yes.
Because yeah, she's not out there for that. And I used to I tried to make money doing podcasting and stuff in the past, and uh, I don't anymore. It's just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right for me. And I'm not judging other people that do that, because gosh, we've got to make a living and whatnot. But if
Right.
you're not representing, you're kind of gatekeeping and whatnot to sell your product or whatever,
Right.
that's problematic.
When the money comes in, that's when the issues start, because you can't be honest about certain things. You can't, you know, it's
Yeah,
just
and
the way
people,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah. Wow. What
And
an education for you.
if if Sabrina wanted to, remember when she was the pods and all that stuff, like if she was a dishonest person, she could have made a ton of money, because people look up to Sabrina, like, how they look up to her now. She's
Yes.
like, some people go way overboard with Sabrina's like on this god level, and so
Right.
she could literally say, "Eat this," and everyone would be like, let me buy that and eat that. You know what I mean? So
Like
if she
holding
was,
on to every word.
yes, you see how they are with her. So
Mhm.
if she was a dishonest person, she could make tons of money selling
Oh yeah.
products. She could, because they people would buy whatever she told them to.
Yeah.
A lot of people. So that's how you know she isn't dishonest, because she's not willing to do that.
Right. And she doesn't have like a platform where she's charging a bunch of money
Right.
to do meetings or to channel messages or whatnot.
Right.
So
Because
yeah,
you were in with like Lori Ladd's
Lori Ladd.
community,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
make lots of money.
She makes lots of money. Yeah, I don't know how much money she makes, but yeah, there was a lot of positives to that as a step in my whatever timeline or whatever. But yeah, when I found Sabrina, it just felt like a different level of truth because there was no restricting of any type of information. And she was bringing in all the pieces of like the technical stuff, which
Right.
really, I don't want to say sold me on it, but helped me, have made it so credible. Um,
Well, all
yeah.
that technical stuff's definitely spot on. You know, that
Yeah.
stuff's happening in real life. So
Right. So, and I could relate it to what things that had happened in my life in the past, at present, and like we're here to talk about what's going on possibly in the future and what we're going through. So, yeah, it's been crazy, but thank God for people like you out there for years doing this work and
mm,
putting up with these people that just freaking get out of here.
yeah,
You know,
in the beginning, I was scared. Like
were you?
it's oh yeah, I was really scared because the things that I've told you about in the
Yes.
past, things that have happened to me. It's scary to go put your face out there now and have, like, this is my name, my real name is Dawn, this is my face. So, but I mean, that's
Yeah.
what they want. They want us to be scared
Right.
and hide and not say anything. And that's how this shit goes on and on and on, because people are scared and hide and never say anything. And it's like, well, they're already messing with me all the time, lifelong. So I might as well stop being scared and just
100%.
stand up for my
Stand.
children.
Yep. Right with you. Yeah, I have put a lot out there, and I am, I don't have anything to hide, so it's great to come on here and talk about
Right.
the crap. Yeah, so you went to the dentist today, huh? We
And I
talked
got
about
my
the dentist.
I got my little nano shots.
She sent
But
me a picture from the chair.
but there's no way I was going to do that not numbed up. I mean,
Oh, no way.
my whole tooth had crumbled, and she was going to have to drill it down, and no way.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
and this is another thing in our community. It's like they're all or nothing with it, with everyone. They're like, you can't do any of this. You
Oh,
can't,
yeah.
like, no doing that, no this, no that. Well, what
The
are we supposed to
extremism.
do? Right.
Right.
Like, I've there's certain things, like, yes, I know there's bad stuff in it, but I'm breathing the air with the bad stuff in it. It's in the soil. It's sometimes
It's a
we can't.
luxury to be
Right.
able, like when I first got into like, I hate to call it the truther movement, but during COVID, when the hokey pokeys were out and everything, and I kind of just did a 180 shift into more holistic stuff. I realized I learned about the dental work and how bad. And I know we talked a little bit about this, but yeah, how bad it was. And so I started looking for like holistic dentists. And even like send them emails and like, do you take any insurance or anything like no
No,
way. I mean,
you got to
I
just pay out of pocket for all that, and not.
I didn't have the money. I don't have the money to do that. I'm a freaking walking antenna. I got the amalgams all through my mouth. So
You and me both.
I didn't need any shot. I'm going to light up on a probably Christmas tree.
Right.
But what are you supposed to? I can't just let my teeth. I have to act at that level, even though it's not ideal, probably for the whole.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'd love it if I could just go to a holistic dentist and
Right.
have all this stuff, but I don't have. I mean, I don't have spare thousands of dollars to just do that.
Right. And the assumption that I guess what I hate is like when it's like almost like there's a hierarchy. Well, I don't have that problem with my
Girl.
teeth, you know.
Right.
I went to the holistic dentist, and
Right.
yeah,
You know how
so
they do that. It's like
and
you're drinking water out of you get caught on camera with a water bottle, a plastic water bottle, and they're like, "Do you know
you need
what you're
copper,
drinking? What are you doing?"
right? Or if you casually post like your McDonald's or your Dunkin' or whatever, you know what that's got in it, you know.
Right. Everything all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get sometimes like sometimes those statements have made me think about what I'm doing,
Right.
but I have to balance it. It's all
Yes.
about like
It becomes like people start thinking that they're better than others
exactly.
because, and then all that does is create a divide between us and the other people because they're tired of us saying those things to them. They're tired of us. So instead of them wanting to listen to us and maybe researching, they're giving us the middle finger and wanting to eat the McDonald's more or whatever, you
Exactly.
know?
Exactly. It's like if they take it in and they say like, well, what can we do about it anyways? You know, it
Right.
doesn't like if what you say is true, then why does it matter? You
Right.
know,
That's the big one.
I get that a lot.
We can't do
Even
anything about it anyways, so I might as well live my life,
exactly. Exactly.
which is true to an
It's true.
extent, but we can do some things. Like we can do some things.
We can, and I think we all should be able to have the knowledge of what's happening to our bodies.
Right.
You know,
That's what blows me away the most is that a lot of people just don't want to know. Like they do not want to know at all.
I know, I know. I've met autism moms that are like, Jill, you're probably right about this stuff, but I just want to live my life over here with my kid and
Right.
do what I need to do. And I don't want to know. And God bless, I'm not here to tell somebody to like rip their heart open and learn about this stuff because it does kind of rip your heart open.
Oh, it does. It does.
Yeah. But it has helped me to understand it, because you can do these things. You can take baby
Tiny,
steps.
tiny steps.
Yes.
Just take like for me it was switching out the deodorants in my house and switching out the toothpaste that I used
Toothpaste.
and just small things, switching out little tiny things.
Yep. Same. Same. And if I can't do it, I can't afford it, I'm okay
Right.
with it.
Right.
So
And that
yeah.
was the hardest part is when you come in this, like there's all the people in the holistic community and they're like detox, 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 but
Oh yeah.
they're selling these products. And yeah, I want to do all that,
Oh, me
but
too.
it's like $160 for these two little bottles, and I need to do this 4 times a year. Well, we live on
Just
one
don't have the
income,
money.
right? We live on one income, and I've got a large family. Everything's really expensive. What am I going to do?
Right. Right. I felt that so much, Dawn. Like I wanted to, like I'd listen to the people that were able to access these tools and talk about the results. And it was just,
Right?
I don't know. I felt like I couldn't keep up. And yeah. So yeah. Anyways, I was going to get into one of my practices, but I'm going to save that for another podcast.
No, do it, do it.
Well, so I started doing urine therapy.
Did you start that?
I
That's
did.
always so controversial. You hear like people are like, no, or
Oh yeah,
yes. And it's like, again, that I don't know. It just seems like
totally. Even in
if it's working for you, then that's proof that it works.
well, the reason I did it was because of that pressure. The reason I started it, I felt desperate. I felt like, well, I need to be doing something. I can't afford all these treatments. I heard that some people on various platforms, but Lori Ladd had a guest on that talked about it, and she was doing it. And so I had another friend in her community, and we started it up. And I will say, it has been helpful. I'm not super extreme about it, but because again, the people in those communities, if you want to see some extreme, go in a urine therapy community.
I've never
Pretty
once
much,
done that.
they there's a lot of expectations that you eat. It's the purest when you eat
Right.
like this clean diet, which is
Right.
almost impossible. The coach, the guy that taught me, was like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but it's better to drink it anyways, no matter what you're eating or
Really?
what you're
Okay.
on. Yep. Yep. He wasn't like you had to wait till you're pure and whatnot. Even just a little bit helps, that kind of thing. So I did it that way. I did it baby steps on my own terms, and yeah, it has been helpful, but it is a big mental. A lot of people
I
just
bet.
and
Is there
spouses
like
get
no
involved.
taste?
Oh
No
no,
taste?
you can tell what you've been
Really?
eating or
Okay.
drinking. Yeah, like if
Wow.
you eat like
Okay.
shit, and that's helped me clean up my diet. Like I want more
See?
gluten because I'm like yeah. It is. It was really it's
Wow.
crazy when I think about it, but there's a lot of proof. There's a lot of documentation that it can be helpful. Not probably not in the mainstream. You do a Google search on that, you're gonna feel like a big yeah freak for even
It's
considering
like
it.
everything though. You'll hear even in our community, one person says yes, this is good. One person says no, that's bad. Don't ever do it.
Yep. Oh, I just am checking something on my computer. Yeah, 100%. So it is. It's individual, I think, and
Right.
yeah,
Which is what Sabrina always says. It's individual. Only you can assess your environment and what works for you.
I love that too about her. And I never felt like she was presenting her way of doing things with any kind of bias, just sharing.
Right.
So, yeah, and you wanted to talk about, not that I'm going to abruptly change the topic because I get awkward sometimes, but about, let's see, what do I have? Oh, the GATE program. Did you want to
Right.
talk about that?
Sure.
You read. So if anybody
So
out there, yeah, you go ahead and describe it. I feel like
you start because you know a lot about it. So go ahead and
I don't. I learned about it's gifted and talented program education. I did not experience that in my school system, but a lot of school systems, public schools, the gifted and talented program started to be rolled out. I don't know the exact time frame of it, but I do know that friends of mine's younger siblings were in these programs. And I
right.
always thought, well, I'm not smart enough for that. They wouldn't have picked me anyway. So
But
I missed it.
it wasn't about like I don't know, it was weird. Like they
Yeah,
said it was for the smart kids, but like the things that we did in there wasn't anything about
really, that you had to
like
be smart for.
right. It wasn't like you're
Really?
doing math equations and stuff like that. No, like it was just different.
That's what I
Like
always thought it was. Like you'd be in there with like the higher level math and doing all the stuff that we've done at a young
not when
age.
I was little. It was
Yeah.
different.
Huh.
We
So
did a lot of like hearing, I don't know, just a lot of different things. And I went to the San Diego State University
mhm.
for like a 1 week testing thing. They told my mom that they wanted to test me for the gifted program. And it was just when I went, my mom would take me and drop me off there.
Uh-huh.
And it was just me and one other little boy. And we were with like a lady in a, like a, I don't know, a lab room or whatever.
Yep.
And they would put us on these like a dentist chair or whatever and lay us back and put the electrodes all over our head and on our chest and ask us questions. And I remember thinking, well, this is so weird because this has nothing to do with school. Like
Oh my
they're not
goodness.
asking us questions about that. They're asking us feeling questions. How does this make you feel? What do you think when you look at this type of things? If I show you this picture, what do
Holy
you
crap.
see? What do you think? Like all of that stuff. And it was just so weird.
So
But
they're
at
like
the time,
harvesting that. Well,
yeah. And I didn't
right.
understand it at the time, I was just glad to get to go because I liked
You're
getting away
right.
from, and, and the
Yeah.
lady that did it, I remember she was just so nice. And
Yeah.
it was almost like she knew things about us. Like it was weird. It was like she knew things about us personal because she would talk to me and say things like she knew me.
That's creepy. But you didn't think anything of it because your mom brought you and
Yep.
it was for
Yeah.
smart kids. So
Yeah. But then there was nothing, they just did all the testing for a week and then that's it. Okay.
and that was it. That was it was just that 1 week that you did it, or
Hmm.
did you
Yeah. It
do
was
other?
just that one
Yeah.
week there.
Wow. Well, I learned from Emma. Emma, the podcaster that does the Imagination podcast. Last summer, I started listening to her, and she interviews individuals that have been through satanic ritual abuse. And I knew nothing about that at all. And it just completely rocked my world, changed me. No idea that that kind of thing existed. But she also interviewed people that had been in the GATE program and how they were using that data and that all the biosignals and everything
Right.
for what we're, that's part of the biodigital convergence.
Right.
All these kids that were tortured and tormented, all that was to collect consciousness data, basically. That's how I understand a
Yeah.
lot of it. So,
And I think they like, at least for me anyways, I think that part of it is when like they do things like lifelong to like keep you in a lower, always like for me it was
mhm.
fear. A lot of things always happened to me to keep me very fearful and scared. A lot of trauma, constant trauma, like lifelong.
So you
And
think you think that some of that's based on
whatever this is, whatever this
right?
is for this that we were going to be experiencing now, I do believe they
You got
sought
yep.
people out based on, whatever, way back when, used us for whatever the hell. And
People that were different, that had different biomarkers or whatever.
yes.
Like I know they talk about the eyes and the blood types and
Yes.
um, hair color and yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't know, like, even when I was having my kids, like, they don't explain the blood type. They're like, oh, you're Rh negative. You have to get the Rogram shot. Nobody explains it to you, really, nothing.
No,
It's just, and then you
I
find
had
out
no idea.
later, you're like, what the heck? Like,
Wow. Yeah, I know. With the kids, I had no idea about anything to do with blood type. I believe we're all O positive, but I remember when I was coming out of the hospital with my second child, my daughter. Um, this was before she had her diagnosis of TSC. This doctor stopped us on the way out, and he pulled us, my husband at the time and I, into this room, and he sits us down in these chairs, and we've got this little baby, we're trying to leave the hospital, and he's like, I need to let you know that that because of you're Rh negative, you're going to need to know these things about your baby.
wow.
And my husband and I were looking at each other like, what? Neither one of us, we knew neither one of us were negative, and we're like, the more we listened to him, we realized that he had pulled in the wrong parents. So
Ah.
all of a sudden he realized that he had done that, and he was like horrified. But we were shook by that. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
they
then
never explained anything to me. Like, it was always
really,
just always so vague about everything with the doctors. And
yeah, yep. They only give you like just enough to know about the physical part of it, nothing else. So I don't know. But yeah, that whole gay thing, that had to be freaky. And then to find out, did you like question it at all until you heard about it more recently? Like what you went
I
through?
never, I'll tell you, this is the sickest part. And I know this because I've talked to many people since I started, like, through sharing the stuff with Sabrina. A ton of people message me on Facebook and tell me their stories.
Really?
And yes, and a lot of us have similar things, like
Yeah.
a lot of trauma happening, a lot of things in the medical system. You go to the doctor and they do all kinds of weird stuff to you. You go to the dentist, weird things happen at the dentist to you. Like, a
Interesting
lot of people have that story.
that we're in these programs.
Yes.
Wow. Wow, that's cool though that you were able to share about it on Facebook and get that kind of feedback. That must have been validating to say the least. I don't know.
Yes, because I thought, like, this is the sickest part. I thought that God hated me. Like, lifelong, I thought all this bad stuff, this happens to me because God hates me. Like, I am clearly
Oh,
I'm being punished, like, this is specific to me. I did bad things maybe in another lifetime, and I have to come here and be punished for it. Like, I really was thinking that, like, as a child, always God hates me. And then
oh,
then when I found Sabrina, that's why it was like,
Oh my goodness.
because
Yeah.
you go down the thing and then all the other people, and I'm talking to other people, they're sharing their stories, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like,
What a
you mean God?
relief,
You mean God wasn't punishing me?
right?
And then isn't that sick? You're relieved that it's just this screwed up system we find ourselves in
Yeah,
here.
right. You're relieved to know, yeah, to know, yeah, it's not you, it's just the whole world.
Oh yeah, it just really sucks here on planet Earth.
Exactly.
But at least
Oh,
God doesn't hate me.
right. Oh, that makes my heart hurt though, to think of you as like a little kid thinking those things. Because I remember, yeah, I had a complicated relationship with God and spirituality, but now I don't remember thinking that. I was pretty sure Jesus loved me. So
Well, you grew up with loving parents.
I
So
did. I
when you
did.
grow up like that, you feel like, my mom was she wasn't like that. And she always told me everything was my fault. Anything that happened, my fault. When her and my dad fought, your fault. See what you do. She never wanted to be a mom. So having me, that was her thing.
Yeah.
So I took everything, like everything was my fault all the time.
Wow. I can't imagine that, Dawn. I'm sorry. I looked to the side just because but yeah, that's just, I can't imagine that. I mean, I went through a phase of my life where I was not the best parent, and I still feel if I screw something up with my own kids, like the guilt and the torment that hit are just almost unbearable. So I don't know. I don't understand that, but I'm
That's
sorry you
how
went through
that's
that.
how I feel, like constant guilt about everything with my children, everything. It's like my fault. I did it.
Yeah, I incorporated that, and I think it was from a number of things, not the experiences you have, but I incorporated a sense of, yeah, like things are my fault and I'm constantly screwing up. And I think a lot of that that's the programming that we get as humans on the planet to a degree, and whatever females, whatever, like we moved a lot growing up, so that kind of made me a little unstable. Um, but yeah, what a shame. I guess we're here now, so I shouldn't say what a shame
Right.
because we are here, but it does suck that you had to go through that.
Well, don't you think you sent me that thing yesterday about the trauma being part of from X, that post on
Oh yeah,
X,
yeah,
how
yeah,
the
yeah.
trauma is part of our what wakes us up to all of this
Yes.
too.
Yeah, so I guess in that way, it's a gift. It's a gift. Well, I hate to call any suffering a gift.
But then you see how the government uses those same tactics to keep
Yes.
us all in line, and they're traumatizing us daily. Like you turn on the TV, trauma. And people really don't realize what that
No.
does to a person. They think like, oh, I just blow it off. No, you can pretend like you're blowing it off, but it remembers. It gets stored in your body, and we're all traumatized 24/7
100%.
here on planet Earth now. They've ramped it up to
It's getting more hard to ignore, and I feel like more and more people are being affected negatively, whether they know it or not. You know,
yes.
yeah. So I guess we can smoke a lot of pot.
It's about all you can do.
I did want to bring that topic up because yeah, I know you partake, and it's been a helpful to. I don't know if you even. I didn't even ask you if you wanted to say that out loud, but I could.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh yeah. So I started using it, and I never ever. I was a good girl. I mean, I drank and did all that, but I didn't never had used it till I was in my 40s. I think I might have taken a few puffs back younger, but yeah, and I had some freakouts on it, some major freakouts that I almost and uh, really scared me. But something about the experience, I knew there was more there, that I might not have had the best experience, but it showed me things, or I was able to access parts of my consciousness that I never could. Um, So it's been a tool for me, and I feel like it can really be a tool. It can be also just it really essentially helped me slow the freak down and
Yes.
just chill out. I mean, I had never paused long enough to look at things that were happening in my life. You know, I was running from one thing to the next. And
Right.
finally, when I started using it, when I got divorced and I was living out, with my kids and single mom or whatever, it was just such a wonderful tool. So,
Better than taking, I mean, like my mom, Xanax was her thing. She'd always say, I
really,
can't. Yes, she had like two different doctors getting her prescription so she'd never be out, and she would always just say, I just need a little bit to sleep at night, but come on, you know, that's a lie. Nobody just okay.
well,
And
you build up a tolerance, so
yes. So
you have
you're
to get
not going
more
to
and
no
more.
longer need a little
Yeah,
piece.
yeah.
So she would, because I always had anxiety, but the sick part was she didn't want to admit why I had anxiety or admit that the anxiety should exist. So she would always say to me, I don't understand why you're so anxious. Why do you, it's weird that you have such bad anxiety. And then she'd try and give me Xanax. She's like, here,
Oh,
you need one of these. But
did you try
I
it?
I took like one pill, but every any pill, even a Motrin, gives me the worst stomach ache of my life. So I am pills just don't me and
Wow,
pills. So
I am
I
the
never did
opposite.
it. But I'm like, if she could just smoke pot, she could slow down because like I understood that the reason my mom was the way she was is because her mother did it to her. And her mind was
Generation.
all yes, her mind was always racing and racing and racing and but if they
Wow.
would they try to demonize pot, but it's the weirdest thing because they demonize it and everywhere you go people are like, do you smell that nasty
I know.
smell, ew, pot. But if you tell them you're taking 8 prescription pills, they're like, cool, man.
Oh yeah,
it's
me
the
too.
it's
Let's
it's the
talk about this.
weirdest thing, isn't it? Like,
It blows me away, and it's so much better than alcohol. And there's
right,
studies on it.
you can go to the bar and have a couple drinks, nobody thinks anything.
Yep.
But if you were to, oh, cannabis, oh, dirty, gross. It's just everything on this planet is backwards.
And I think that there's a fear of it because it can be abused and overused, and it's super. They make it super strong. So I'm not negating that there are risks
Right.
involved. And we're not doctors, so we're just talking from our personal experience. But it gives you access to like ways of thinking. I think that they're afraid of us
Right.
having.
I
You
think
know,
so too. I think so too. And I've heard from a lot of people who are big into it, growers and stuff, and
mhm.
they are talking about how they think it's like blocking out a lot of the control methods that they're using for us.
Breaks down the programming.
So
Yep. Yep. I do. I feel, this could be a judgment, but people that smoke, they think differently a lot. I notice a lot of connections made that it's like more fluid. It's not as rigid. Um, like if you like, maybe I'm not explaining it. Like you could grab two different concepts and that you might not like be able to even conceive of when you're straight. So
right. Someone
anyways,
said that the legal pot is not the same though, which is true. They're adding all
yes.
kinds. They're
Yeah,
doing whatever.
I have to say, yeah, that's really concerning. I mean, we grow, and so
You live in a legal state,
I
so
know.
it's
I was going
beautiful
to
for
mention
you.
that. When you're talking about this, the smell and people being so hostile to it in Massachusetts, I think there's been people are more open to it because there's dispensaries. In fact, the market is so saturated. There are so
Right.
many freaking dispensaries, but
Wow.
yeah, they do stuff to it. So you really got to be careful with that as well. Um,
I live in South Carolina. It's illegal. I would never even think that they will allow it here because, this is still one of those states where even a tattoo, people are like, eh, devil worshiper, witch.
oh man, we are so funny as humans.
Mhm.
Yeah, pot. It's a good tool. It has risks, but if you're out there, yeah, I call it supplementing your endogenous cannabinoid system, because we have a whole system. And I ended up getting into the cannabis industry, which was really interesting. I was trying to market a product. I ended up working with this guy that knew a lot about autism, and he was trying to develop these products for kids that had autism and epilepsy.
Really?
Yes, amazing guy. Just the business didn't work out. It was like COVID hit, but I got to know a lot of people in the industry, and I was interviewing them, and I loved a lot of because people had a lot of struggles with the traditional medical system, and they end up there because of desperation. Nothing had worked. People cured their cancer. They got over all kinds of stuff with cannabis. So, and there's so much science to it. I didn't know anything about that. So anyways, I had to add that in there.
When you go to like the dispensaries and you see the people getting it for medical, like they're not scrubby looking people. They're, people in business suits, older. I've seen very like 80-year-old people in there getting it and
yeah, and they should. I feel like that's wonderful. I was really upset when the agenda hit with the hokey pokies. I mean, I'm saying it that way because if we're on YouTube or whatever, what was my point there? That a lot of people in the cannabis industry went for that agenda. Like,
did they really?
Yes. And I was so aggravated. I was like, wait a minute. You guys are all, that the government is screwing us over with the legislation on this. And there's all these politics and all these layers of bureaucracy around it, because everyone wants to position to make the most money off of it. And so people in the industry they know that, and then to have this whole other government agenda come in, and everybody just does it. Well, we got to do this, and I got that. I was like, done. I am done. I am not.
You would think that those people would be really like, no, thank you.
Very liberal, not
to get into liberal. That's why.
The problem, and I think
that was it. That was it, because it is a lot of those people are the liberals, and they did it. They thought they were doing a good thing for humanity.
Exactly. Yep. So it kind of, again, as I'm saying it's one more way that they've divided and split and made people that are prime to the message of what's happening, the people in the cannabis space, because of this political leaning that they have, they're not able to, they end up getting sucked back into another cycle of.
It is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. There's one more thing I wanted to bring up. I don't know whether you agreed to talk about this.
Go ahead.
It was, let's see. I just have to read a text here from my son.
Is he at work?
Yeah, I'm going to see if he's staying, because that way I can talk longer. Yeah, otherwise I'll have to go in a little bit. Well, not for a little bit. Anyways, it was the evolution of like corporate workplace, like camaraderie, and do you want to go down this path
about how, like, at the
well, just I can talk about it from my experience, and if you want to jump in, but if you have something else you want to talk about, please.
No, let's do this.
Cut me off. I noticed my second husband, when we moved to the Boston area, he was working for a big bank. It was like a big corporation, and there was all these activities centered around work. Like there was softball teams, and there was all kinds of like parties and events. And I was pregnant, and I just felt like he was already gone all the time working in Boston.
Right.
And then he had this whole social life with work that felt like, I have to go participate and do these things. It was kind of unspoken, but it felt like he was being pulled away, and the relationships with women there too. I felt as a young pregnant mom, I felt threatened, by my husband's relationships at work. Maybe I was jealous being pregnant, stuck at home, but I think
I relate to that big time. I can totally relate.
Yeah, and so yeah, it just seems to have gotten worse. And then I got a job in, what with I forget which kid it was. I was pregnant, but I was working for an internet startup, like an office manager, and it was a bunch of 20 and 30 somethings. And there was all these like overnight like retreats that you were supposed to go on. And I remember thinking, no way in hell am I going on that. I am not doing that. I just don't feel like bonding more with these people, even though I get the point that we're supposed to, it helps the whole job atmosphere, but that it seems to be have been a trend.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yes, I think that was put in place to, they could put it in place as like team building, and you can bring your family if you want, but really, like, you go along, you're not part of their
Right.
environment, you're not there, so you're the outsider
You're the one.
there, and you're right, you're the wife, nobody really wants to talk to you, it's awkward, but it's built to tear the family unit away. Like, my husband has always worked like that. He
Yeah.
works 12 hours a day because he works in manufacturing, so there's always, and they call overtime at the drop of a hat, so you never know when you're coming home, because they can say, nope, 2 hours overtime today, and we're going to work Saturday. And then not only are we going to do that, now we have a team building event after work where we're all going and having beers together. So you've already been gone 12 hours. Now you're going to go be gone 3 more hours to
Yeah.
go have beers, or they'll have a golf outing or what the hell ever. And then all it does is pull you away. My husband's coming, he's spending most of his time with the people he works with. It's
Right.
just the way it is.
It's the
And
way it
there,
is.
yes, and that's how it was designed to be, because that's part of all of this, to destroy the family unit. They do not want that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I've seen it, and then the whole, people having affairs, and my
Oh, big time.
he one of his relationships was with someone he worked with, and they broke up, and he's like, never ever again will I have a relationship with anybody at work because of the stress of seeing your ex every day, having to work with them. So
Yeah. The
so just
place,
constant.
it is the place where my husband works. My neighbor, her husband had worked there.
Oh
And
yeah.
she had told me, like, when my husband was going to work there, she's like, you won't believe the shit that happens there. The managers are sleeping with employees. There's all this stuff going on. And I thought she was just, I don't know. I didn't believe it really. I was like, yeah, but then
Right.
I was
Right.
like, dang, well, yeah, maybe. But they've done this. I really do believe they've done this because of social media. These women are, it's changed people. Like, women are used to all day long posting selfies online. They just post a sexy selfie, right? And 100 men, hot, 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 fire, fire, fire. These are married men even, and they're like, "Oh, you look so sexy," and it's, people
This
don't respect boundaries. Like, hey, that's a married woman, don't say that to her. Hey, that's a married man, don't do that. But because of social media, we're all on here, and nobody cares about boundaries anymore. Everybody just wants to be sexy, and
to
everybody's
be famous.
starved for attention. And it's just really icky and weird.
Anything to keep us from like participating in our lives and not in this thing we're holding in this virtual world
Right.
with participate with the people that are with us. So
Right.
we're getting like
It's,
lauded and attention from strangers, and or just
and
yeah.
if God forbid a man actually likes his wife and says, no, I don't want to go out, then they say, you're whooped. You're whooped. How dare,
Oh
what?
yeah.
You're going to pass up the golf outing? What, your wife won't let you go? Like, that's the sickness that they put on society.
I totally agree. Yeah, and I've seen it myself. Yeah, I remember after like a bunch of years later, after this one job that I was talking about that my husband had when we first moved to this area. He's like, yeah, so and so that I worked with back then wanted to have affairs, and he's like, yeah, they said everybody does it and whatnot. And he didn't participate, but I remember these women, like they didn't give a crap. They did not give
No,
a
they
crap
don't.
about the fact that I was there with my baby, And just
No,
thinking back, and I get some of it. They were young too, and they're learning and whatnot. But vulnerable
it's
people. Sorry.
it's almost like the women, though, I notice it. There's like this sick competition thing with women, and if they see a woman having something, they almost want to take it from the woman. They want to, like it's
Yeah,
really
I do know
weird.
that. Yeah,
Well, I know you know that. You had that experience.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Just the continual destabilization of anything that's like, I want to say holy, or anything that's just
it
natural,
is all the
more
time. And
natural.
that's why I get labeled a bitch all the time because
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sorry, I'm not having it. I don't want you texting my husband anything personal. If it's work related, fine, but you don't need to put a heart emoji on it or a winky emoji. You don't need to take it any which way. You don't need to give my husband your personal number. Nothing.
yeah.
I mean, like, no.
No, no, thank you. Yeah, and so then it puts you in a mode where you're always like, every time he goes out the door to work, like, what the heck, And
It's like even on social media, like when I was into like the workout groups and
oh
stuff,
yeah,
and you're
yeah,
you're
talk about that.
posting selfies all the time from your workouts, and it draws that attention, that mindset of the men that are gonna send you a freaking dick pic type of mentality. And it's like, dude, if you did that, if you in person, if you walked up to someone and flashed them, you'd go to jail. But online, want to see my dick? I mean, come on, It's just like this whole mentality, like, no.
Making it like normal and comfortable.
Yes, yes. And when you get in that environment, like it stops. Like when I was posting all the workout selfies and stuff, and it seems normal to you. Everyone's doing
Sure,
it. And the men are hearting, and then you're like craving that attention. And it's so surface level and weird. And listen, the men are hearting all the women, so it's not special to you
you ain't
because they're
special.
doing it. It ain't special to you. They're doing it to everyone, and the women are the same way. Women are no better. The women are
Yeah,
doing it too, so it's nothing special. I don't want you to look at me for this. I want you to look at me for this. I want you to like me because of what I am saying and doing.
yep, and that is not what we are being
No,
shown.
they want us shallow and I don't know.
It's a frequency, and I fell into it too. It's during certain periods of my life when yeah, putting a lot of selfies and stuff like that out there. And oh, I know, like, do you ever get those messages, like, and not in your main folder, but like, I know on TikTok, like, people want to send you a message. Well, I went through them today. There's like 25 of them, and they're from, hi beautiful, hey gorgeous, and all these got this, like, there are times in my life I might have fallen for that, when I was felt needy and I felt uh,
Yes.
vulnerable, and yeah, now it's just like, ick, delete, go away. But
That's how I don't even read mine. I'm like, if people sometimes like comment under my a video and be like, "What's wrong with you? You don't read your messages?" Well, no, unless I know
yeah,
you, I don't because
I can't imagine how you would. You have quite a bit of content that you wouldn't have time to go through probably
and
everything.
even I don't even want to. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but I don't like
it's not where
in
you.
an
Yeah,
in a normal setting, you have to get to know someone a proper way, right? You just don't have access to people. And people now online think that they should have access to you.
yes,
Because I'm
yes.
posting on here, you should have access to me and I should have to message you and tell you answer. No. If you want to get to know me, comment on my stuff and we'll one-on-one
We'll
get to
start to
know
talk.
each other
Right.
and talk, and that's how it. But you don't get to come in my messages and have access to me.
Ah, such a good point. Yeah, that whole access thing, even with texting, that instant, like, if you don't get back to
Yes.
me,
Yeah, they think right now.
yep, yep, right now. And like, even there's really good things about, I suppose, about texting too, but like with my kids, they don't necessarily respond to me right away. In fact, some of them, it might be a couple days, before I get
my 27-year-old, I'll text him 3 days later.
right.
He's responding. Oh, hey.
Like you didn't look at your phone,
Right. I
but
know
Mom,
he tried, but he's on his own. And if it
I
isn't an
know.
emergency, okay.
Yeah, the important stuff gets through. I will say that, but I do think it's kind of funny that
Yes.
they can, but they're not brushing off the people the other people that are
Right. If his
cool.
girlfriend texts him, he better be anyways, because she's going to get him.
Oh man, yeah, we've talked about a good amount. I probably got to go soon here to
Okay.
get my kid. Well,
It's nice chatting with you, Jill.
Yeah, you too. We do want to do more where we bring people on, our
Yes.
friends
It
and
would be
family.
fun. We need to get other people who want to come on and talk about
Yep. So
their experiences too.
yeah, so if you're interested, reach out. Like we are both, as you can tell by the way this started out, we're both still learning about how to use this technology. I'm a little rusty, and Dog's getting up to speed too. So bear with us as we try to bring this to you, to bring this like real life chat.
Right. I think that's really what people want, because that's the thing. Even I notice on my Facebook, people want to chat. They want to talk about this. This is all new to all of us. Like, who the hell knew that they were doing this convergence, right? So,
Right.
and a lot of people just want to talk about it with someone like this, one-on-one, without all the technical terms and just,
Right. Because that can be a little overwhelming at first. I felt like, especially when I first found Sabrina, that if I couldn't correctly define and articulate those terms and the
right.
concepts, then I should just keep my mouth shut, and I don't think that's necessarily true. I think, and it's not that she ever promoted that. It was just my
But
own.
other people did, though. There are some other accounts who were just such creeps about it, and
Nitpickers.
they'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. You shouldn't say anything. You shouldn't do anything. If you don't know what's in this or that. Or it's like, we're all
Right.
learning. We're all learning, and we need to open the door and bridge the gap for all of us to.
Just because you don't come in knowing this or that, or you might make a wrong assumption, or put up a post with a gatekeeper.
Right.
Take a deep breath. It's okay.
Right.
We're not going to bite your head off.
You don't know how to, you don't say words like bio-cyber interface. You don't say words
Right.
like, the internet of bio-nano things. It's not things that normal
are natural.
people, right. People don't use those terms in everyday life. So,
right. Though I will say, when somebody doesn't use the terminology bio-cyber interface now, I do get a little.
Like, when they say bio, it's a bioweapon. You're like, bio-cyber interface.
I know. But, I know. So I guess it goes both ways. I'm going to say these things and then do the exact opposite. But we're trying.
We're trying, but
because we're talking about it.
And that's what people need. They need to talk about it, because it's so scary until you can just talk about it, and it's like in your normal conversation about this is what's happening. This is what they're doing.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying. I was trying to see if he had texted me and whatnot, but yeah, we're going to go longer soon. But
okay,
this is good.
Go get your son.
All right. Take care, everybody.
All right.
Peace out. Till the next time.
Bye.
Bye. End stream.